Welcome everybody to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube TV as we kicked off WrestleMania week. Oh, my word. Wow. Another so-so show, but man alive, newsworthiness again. And on top of it, perhaps in the 26 and a quarter year history of this show, we witnessed, without question, the most insane, chaotic, violent, brutal segment. I'm still at a loss for it. Like Mauro Ranallo once said, there are no words. That's all there is to say on that. There are no words. And you know we're going to address that elephant in the room in just a moment. But in the meantime, I am your ridiculously over good brother, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher, awaiting the presence of the phenom Michael Bullock and the Twisted Angel Didi Woodson. And all right, I got to send the invite again. Just give me 1 second. All right. Didi Woodson, we're awaiting the presence of her. She's on her way in. I'm not sure about Michael Bullock. He's been very busy lately. We did not have our Raw chat this evening. So give me 1 second here. All right. Apparently Didi Woodson's having some technical issues. I don't know what the story is. Yeah, she's not getting the invites for some odd reason. We're going to get her. We're going to get her here momentarily.
You know what? I had this happen to me with you about a week ago. If the best thing to do, Florio, is send it via her email. Don't send it just by her name, but try to send it through her email. Yeah, that's the best way to probably get her.
Yeah, that's probably the best idea. So just give me a moment here. Yeah, definitely having some problems here. So anyways, while we await the presence of Didi Woodson and or Michael Bullock, my word, I mean, just we're still trying to process what happened this evening. And yeah, I hear you snickering over there, MF. I mean, I know how much you enjoyed what happened here. We're gonna get into it. Trust me, we will. But all right, hopefully that worked. So anyways, let's get into the business at hand. Monday Night Raw, the final Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania 35. It was live tonight, as always, on the USA Network from the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C., the home of the Stanley Cup champion, Washington Capitals, and the NBA's Washington Wizards. And we kicked off the show with a 2-for-1 deal, but it was 2 segments. We started it off with a short but sweet segment from the one and only commissioner of Monday Night Raw, the one and only Stephanie McMahon. She had a major announcement. Well, it was an announcement we were all hoping for. MF did not think it was going to happen. He had his doubts. Fair enough. But Derek Ferreira reported it. He went on the record. He said it on his Sportskeeda. He said it was going to happen, and I had a feeling it was going to happen. WrestleMania 35 the main event, Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships will both be defended. It's winner take all. First woman to gain a pinfall or a submission walks out of MetLife Stadium, literally the undisputed WWE Women's Champion. And then on top of that, we had the Universal Champion Brock Lesnar, his advocate Paul Heyman. Paul cuts another amazing promo as usual. You know how Money Heyman is on the mic. He gets interrupted. They get interrupted by Seth Rollins. They get into it, and Seth Rollins, unfortunately, gets the best of Brock Lesnar tonight, and that leads me to some doubts of my own. I'm very worried now, considering that Seth Rollins got the best of Lesnar on this night tonight. I got a bad feeling Booking 101 is going to rear its ugly head, and Brock Lesnar is going to go over and successfully defend the Universal Championship, especially now that I heard that Brock Lesnar is scheduled to compete at the Saudi Arabia pay-per-view on May the 3rd. And it's very, very likely that that Lesnar's going to go over and they're going to want to have him as the champion going into the Saudi Arabia show, which makes absolutely, positively no sense whatsoever. So, Didi Woodson just messaged me. Yeah, so, okay, thoughts on everything here. Well, as far as the Stephanie announcement goes, this is the best approach. It would have been very disappointing if they had announced that the respective champions would only lose their titles if they were pinned or submitted. We talked about it after Charlotte Flair won the SmackDown Women's Championship last Tuesday night on SmackDown Live when she went over Asuka, and MF was saying it was going to be a I do apologize to Didi Woodson. I don't know what in the world is going on with her. I'm still having trouble here. So, doing my best. I'm doing my best, Didi. I'm doing my best. So, anyways, they want to make this the biggest main event in history. We've had huge main events in the 34-year history of WrestleMania. Hogan and Andre, the Mega Powers exploding, the Ultimate Challenge, the Iron Man match, Stone Cold Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Chris Benoit, John Cena and Triple H, John Cena and Shawn Michaels, Undertaker and Shawn Michaels in a career versus streak match, The Rock and John Cena, and everything else. Now, you just made this the biggest main event and the most anticipated main event in WrestleMania history. And if this doesn't end up being a 5-star classic, I don't know how it cannot. Because, I mean, you've got the stipulation. We got the stipulation we wanted. And now we're at the point where we just say Sunday night cannot get here fast enough. Now we really want to see this match. And especially after what we witnessed here tonight, oh my word. Now we're really excited. So that's the thought on that. As far as the segment with Lesnar, Rollins, and Heyman, I mean, Rollins was really good here. He was fired up and confident, and he had the fans with him. Heyman was great with his initial statement. And You know, Rollins gets the best of him, and like I said, I'm worried now. I mean, of course, I want Rollins to win because I want the Universal Championship. I want a full-time Universal Champion, not this part-time every 6-month nonsense. No, I want Rollins to win it. He damn sure deserves it more than anybody. But after what happened tonight, I'm having very, very serious doubts. I think I'm starting to get this eerie feeling in the pit of my stomach that Brock Lesnar's going to go over and hold on to the Universal title a little longer, which makes absolutely no sense. I understand he's going to be on the Saudi Arabia show, but seriously, can't you just have Rollins win the title and then do the rematch in Saudi Arabia? That makes sense. Why can't we just do that? I don't know, but I am concerned. So, very good segments, Bull, all the way around. So, nothing more to say. MF, I mean, you jumped the gun on it last Tuesday on Cerebral Smack Talk. You said that it was going to be for both belts, but then we had to sidetrack and say, oh, let's hold on. Oh, no. We were right all along. It's official. Biggest main event in WrestleMania history. Drop some old school JR knowledge on this.
Well, there's really nothing else to add to it. You basically said everything you had to say about the moment, Anthony. When it comes to WrestleMania, yes, this is the biggest main event ever. This is the biggest moment in WrestleMania history, the biggest moment for the women's evolution and everything else. And at the end of the night, to see that the title is on the line, to see both belts are on the line, like I said, this is literally Hogan versus Warrior WrestleMania 6. Title for title, and there's no excuses now. The safety net is gone. There was that fear that they were going to announce, because initially, and Didi Woodson reported this, initially the SmackDown title was not in play last week. After we found out Charlotte won, and I'm going to openly admit this, and I'm going to give major shout outs because they deserve it, to my buddy Michael, aka Taskmaster from the DCW community, Jack Connor, my boy Bongo, and Manus, Rage, the whole crew. We all were saying it. Unification, title for title. Let's go. Let's do this. Then, obviously, there was the question about, was the title on the, did they officially announce it? Did you hear anything about it? And obviously, no, we did not. So then Meltzer and the boys started saying, no, it's not, the title's not on the line, this and that. So I kind of felt bad because, shoot, we jumped the gun. We thought we had the scoop, and obviously we were wrong. Then obviously Derek said that no, Mike's intuition was correct, that what he's hearing was both belts are going up. So when Derek said that possibly it's going to happen, I'm kind of starting feeling more confident that maybe I got it initially right on SmackDown, on the Smack Talk a week ago, and you guys can look it back on my page that I called it. And then, obviously we wanted to hear it from the horse's mouth. We heard it tonight. The belts are on the line. It doesn't get any bigger than this. So this is without a doubt. Anthony, you're right. This is the biggest main event in WrestleMania history. It now tops any other match and anything that we go to. Now I am more excited than ever before for Sunday night. It doesn't get any. It's a monumental moment. We talk about the high stakes of WrestleMania, but it's not just the high stakes of Mania. It's also now the evolution of the women's division and women's wrestling as a whole. Because when you are a double champion, when you become the SmackDown and Raw Women's Champion, when you literally unify and become the undisputed World Wrestling Entertainment Women's Champion, you're the face of Monday Night Raw. You're the face of SmackDown. You are literally the face of the women's revolution right now. Anybody can say whatever you want to say, but one woman is going to make history at WrestleMania. And not just history, their name is going to be immortalized forever at WrestleMania. They call it the showcase for the Immortals for nothing. And I'm going to steal an old adage when it comes to the movie The Sandlot. And it goes like this. Heroes are remembered, but legends never die. We got, at this moment, is not just a legend, but could become iconic status at WrestleMania. Whoever that is, if that's Ronda Rousey, if that's Charlotte Flair, or if that's my pick to win it all, Becky Lynch, one of these three is going to be immortalized forever as the face of the women's division. And to have both titles, basically, they will be expendable to both shows, to Raw and SmackDown. So it's going to become one of the biggest moments in wrestling history. Now, as far as Seth Rollins goes, yes, I'm concerned about what he did tonight, because Booking 101 definitely does say, whenever you get a one-up prior to a pay-per-view, 9 times out of 10, that means you lose. But Rollins also has some momentum because he's also got the Royal Rumble luck. But if you notice, that Royal Rumble luck is not as prevalent like it used to be. In the last few WrestleManias, the Royal Rumble winner has not gone on to win the title. Nakamura lost last year. He won the opportunity to fight for the WWE Championship, and he lost at WrestleMania. Asuka had the shot at winning the SmackDown Women's title, went after Charlotte Flair, and we all saw what happened. Shocker. So, what do we expect at this WrestleMania? We're just going to have to wait and find out. I feel good about Becky winning the title. I'm starting to get a little leery about Rollins. No doubt about it. But I heard a scenario. Something that might happen at WrestleMania. I hope I'm wrong. But I heard this through the grapevine. And if this actually happens at Mania, this could be very reminiscent of WrestleMania 9. I'm not going to tip that my hand. Florio probably knows what I just said. He probably put 2 and 2 together. He knows. But if that happens, I don't think the IWC is going to be very forgiving about that. Yeah, Florio. That. Yeah. That. You nailed it. So, we'll see what happens. Obviously, I want to see Seth win. But I did hear about that rumor, and Florio, he just sent in something to me on the Google Chrome group chat. I'm just gonna I'm confirming what he just said, so I'm leaving it at that. But yeah, we'll wait and see what happens on Sunday night. But nothing more to say. Didi, what's in this? All yours, my dear.
Okay, we're still in the opening segments.
Yes.
Yes, we're still in the opening segments.
Yes.
Okay.
Stephanie's announcement about the main event and the segment with Heyman, Lesnar, and Rollins.
Okay. Yeah, because for some reason I had a Google issue tonight, so I don't know. I want to say I was surprised about Stephanie, but I wasn't quite surprised about it. No, I'm not super happy about it. I think we should have kept the two separate titles, but it is what it is. Now it looks like we're going to unify the titles. Winner takes all. And we'll just have to wait and see, who comes out on top on that. As for the other segment, yeah, Rollins came out really strong tonight, but yeah, we had the booking 101 that's just right there that's going to say that, he's not going to win it. So, it was nice to actually see somebody besides Roman actually get over on Lesnar. So we'll have to see what happens with that. So I'm not going to say too much more. Let's just move on.
All right. Let's try to pick it up here, folks. 8-woman tag team matchup. We had the women's tag team champions, rather, Sasha Banks and Bayley, teaming up with Natalya and Beth Phoenix. And they went up against Nia Jax and Tamina, as well as the Iconics on loan from SmackDown Live. Babyface team goes over in 11 minutes and 40 seconds, and it was the Glamazon who got the winning fall with a Glam Slam on Peyton Royce. So, yeah, the tensions flared after the match, but nothing more to say on this, MF. I mean, Glamazon, her first Raw match in about 6 or 7 years. As the fans would always say, when an old favorite comes back, she still got it.
She did. Very impressive. Definitely a very good match. Definitely looked really good. I'm very optimistic about her and Natalya's chances, especially now at WrestleMania, because if they look that good as a cohesive unit, I mean, they're probably the dark horse to be the upset winners here at WrestleMania. Obviously, you kind of have to wonder if Nia and Tamina, because of their strength and power, that they'll probably be a little bit of the favorites. Obviously, me being the SmackDown guy, my pick is Iconic to win the tag team titles. Even though I don't think Peyton Royce and Billie Kay will do it, I would love to see them take the belts home and win the titles. But I thought this was a decent fight. I could give this about 2.5 stars. Definitely a solid match. Nothing more to say. Didi, what's I give it to you?
This was a solid match. Very well done. And of course, you got the little bit of combustible on both teams. But in the end, you had the face team come out on top. So it's going to be an interesting match. It was a nice build up for the pay-per-view, and yeah, Beth looked awesome. I'm going to agree with Fletcher's rating, and not much more I'm going to say about it. So, Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, 2.5. About 2.5 to 3 here. Nice showcase for Beth Phoenix heading into WrestleMania. I'm still leaning towards Sasha and Bayley to walk out with the belts, but we'll wait and find out. We'll get more into this on Thursday night when we have our big show. So I'll set that up after. But then we had the hometown boy, Batista, Dave Batista, coming home, getting a hometown pop, and put together a great video package of his history with Triple H. And then he very simply kept it short and sweet. All he said was, "Hunter, kiss my you-know-what." So, I'll be honest. I like the video package in that it emphasizes that Batista's domination of Triple H over the years, as it makes him a legitimate threat to end his career. And it would have been nice of Hunter to also sell that possibility at some point, as he's been joking around and comes off overly confident, a la his DX side, to the point that the stipulation is meaningless. So, we'll have to waiting to see on that. So we're not going to waste any time on that. That was a short and sweet segment. So, and then a cutout match here. Oh boy, this is a fun match. Apollo Crews and Jinder Mahal in a lumberjack match. Yeah, who wanted to see that? No one. Apollo Crews wins it in a minute and 35. No comment. Other participants were announced for the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. They served as lumberjacks, so whatever. And then we had Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle came out, and then we had another well-done video package, you know, showcasing his career. And then he gets interrupted by Baron Corbin. And then Rey Mysterio comes out. Now, it was supposed to be Rey Mysterio and Kurt Angle tonight, but unfortunately, that did not happen because they ended up changing it to Baron Corbin against Rey Mysterio. So I'll say it like this. The Angle video package, well done, and it featured his greatest hits in WWE. Unfortunately, they didn't show any highlights from Angle's TNA career, of course. Obviously, some sour grapes there, obviously. The Angle, unfortunately, replaced the advertised Angle Mysterio match. Very disappointing for the live crowd. But it's a case of cooler heads prevailing more so than a deliberate bait and switch. It's asking a lot of Angle to work as frequently as he has lately at this stage in his career. I understand he wanted to do a farewell tour and all that, but, you know, it is what it is. But that video package, well done. Raw Tag Team Championships on the line. The Revival defending against Ricochet and Aleister Black. Winners of the match via a countout in 11 minutes and 40 seconds. And still the Raw Tag Team Champions. Scott Dawson, Dash Wilder, the Revival. They get it done. Which makes sense because, you know, it's a big week for Ricochet and Aleister Black. Friday night at NXT TakeOver, they will be challenging for the NXT Tag Team Championships against the War Raiders by virtue of them winning the Dusty Rhodes Classic. So, Didi Woodson, let's get your thoughts on this Raw Tag Team Championship match.
This was a very well done match. Not real super crazy about him hiding under the ring and keeping Ricochet from going back inside the ring, but it is what it is. The match was still really, really well done. It really showcased, all four men, and they work really good off of each other. So I'm going to give it 3.5 stars. I thought it was a very well done match, and for me, this would be what I would call my fight of the night. So not much more to say about it. Florio, cheers.
Yeah, I agree, Didi. 3.25, 3.5 stars. That's more like it for the Revival. It's rare that a count-out finish actually feels satisfying, but this is one time it actually did, and it actually gets some heat on them, much-needed heat, much-needed heel heat for the Revival, stretches out the program. I don't know what this is going to mean for Mania, but hey, great matchup here, and it makes sense, not to put the titles on Ricochet and Aleister Black, because like I said, they're going to be going for the NXT tag belts on Friday night as part of NXT TakeOver New York when they go up against Rowan Hansen of the War Raiders. So yes, Didi made some great points. Very good match, without a doubt. Some great action here. I 100% agree. This was, without question, the fight of the night. Absolutely. So nothing more to say except MF. I mean, we've been waiting for the Revival, we've been waiting for them to get some heat here. And finally, they get it here tonight.
Yeah, no, it's perfectly done. Good heat for them heading into WrestleMania. And yeah, like you said, it would have made no sense if Ricochet and Black would have won tonight, especially since they got the tag team title fight coming up Friday night at NXT TakeOver at the Barclays. So it was necessary that it needed to be done. Plus, it's necessary momentum for the Revival heading into WrestleMania. And I think this was the right thing to do. So, no, nothing bad to say. I liked it. Anthony, let's move on.
And let's see what we got here. All right. WrestleMania video. Yeah, there was some backstage stuff. We're not going to get into that. Okay. Are we ready for this? Not so much the match, but what happened after the match. 6-woman tag team matchup. Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey, new SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair, and the man, Becky Lynch, squaring off against the Riot Squad. Of course, Team WrestleMania main event wins the match, 7 minutes and 55 seconds. But it's not about what happened in the match. It was what happened after it. There have been many great segments in the history of this show. Daniel Bryan's grateful retirement promo. His segment with John Cena on The Miz TV a number of years ago. Roman's leukemia announcement. I could go on and on and on about so many memorable, wonderful segments in the history of Monday Night Raw. But what we witnessed here tonight, after the match was over, the most memorable, chaotic, craziest segment I have ever seen in 26 years of watching Monday Night Raw. That segment, without question for me, was uncut, uncooked, and uncensored as far as I'm concerned. Where do I start? Absurd and super entertaining all at the same time. Memorable final segment for those three heading into the main event of WrestleMania. I mean, yes, there was that stipulation during the bout where if anybody had screwed up, then they would have been out. But apparently no concern that they won't be in the main event despite the in-ring and backstage riot. But it was good, over-the-top fun. I mean, this was Attitude Era almost. What do I mean almost? That was Attitude Era. What the hell am I saying? That was Attitude Era, folks, right there. No doubt about it. I mean, it was shades of Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, The Rock, what have you. I mean, hands down, the greatest post-match segment I have ever seen in my entire life. There's no post-match segment or anything that's ever going to top that. That's a segment that, as Derek Ferrero would say, is going to have people talking at the donut shops and the water coolers tomorrow morning. Let me tell you that right now. You want to hype a main event? That's how you do it. That's how you hype a main event right there, folks. The biggest main event in WrestleMania history. You thought our excitement level was sky high before? Oh, no. It's through the roof. That's all there is to say about that. So, there is no match. Well, there are some other matches on the WrestleMania card that we're looking forward to. But I don't think there's any match that we're going to be more excited about and more amped up for come Sunday night than this biggest main event in WrestleMania history. And the way they sold it here tonight. Unbelievable. Oh my sweet Jesus. What a segment that was. Unbelievable. So MF doesn't even need to do his hype man here. They played hype man tonight. So that's all there is to say about that. As far as the match goes, about 2.5. Who cares about the damn match? The post-match. That is what needs to be addressed. So nothing more to say. MF, wildest, craziest. Now you can make an argument. Greatest segment in the 26.25-year history of Monday Night Raw. And as I said earlier, hit me with that old school JR knowledge on this.
Well, there's really nothing more to add. They basically, you wanted the hook, the line, and the sinker of why you want to see WrestleMania. They basically cemented the reason why they're going to be the main event. You want another reason or any other reason to go for it, that's it. You got it. They nailed it without a doubt. I know a lot of people were slamming this segment, though. There was a few people that kind of criticized WWE, saying, you know, it's not the execution of it, but then they had that moment of locking Becky and Ronda in the same cop car, and you're like, you're thinking 101. It's that if you're gonna arrest them, you send all three into three different cop cars. You kind of you created a more chaotic scene than what it should have been. I mean, it was awesome. It was amazing. Just the whole thing itself was unbelievable. And now these three are going to literally tear each other apart at MetLife on Sunday night. And the winners of the WWE Universe. You know, there's really nothing more to add to it. You kind of left everything there. There's nothing left to add. This is what you wanted. This is the main event of WrestleMania. And ladies and gentlemen, get ready. This is going to be an unbelievable matchup, to say the very least. Nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's all yours, my dear.
Yeah, I have the only negative I have to say about the segment, because I love the segment. I thought it was very well done. Is WWE pretty much made the police look pretty stupid, and being a cop's daughter, being married to a man who actually worked in a jail, you don't put two people you're arresting in one car, and you certainly don't let them do some of the crap that happened during that segment. So I wasn't too pleased with how they made the Jabroni Squad look, because that's pretty much how it came out to be. Is the DC police look like a Jabroni Squad? But other than that, the segment I thought was very well done, because it was very well hyping that main event match. I mean, you had the heat there. You had the drama for it. You had everything, all those components for that storyline to build that match, and to just feed everybody's hunger for wanting to see that main event match, and seeing these ladies just go at it, and the hunger they have to now win both titles. And so we'll just have to kind of play it by ear, see what happens when we get to WrestleMania. But yeah, that was a very well done segment. So that was my only gripe on it. So let's just move on.
And WWE.com has just reported that all three ladies have been released from police custody of their own recognizance and will appear in court at a later date. So that from WWE.com, obviously storyline stuff there. So just wanted to address that elephant in the room real fast. So, oh my, I mean, I wish we could end it there, but we still have a little more business to get into here. Heavy Machinery against Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. Heavy Machinery wins the match, 3 minutes, 5 seconds, no comment. Braun Strowman squashing two ham and egg jabronis, pretending they were the Saturday Night Live guys. Again, no comment. Then we had the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion Bobby Lashley and the little midget Lio Rush in there with Charlie Caruso. And, they talked about Finn Balor, and it was announced. You saw it. Finn Balor, he's going to be the Demon. We're going to get the Demon at WrestleMania, folks. How about it? The Demon is coming to MetLife. Wow. Yep. I can see Dee Woodson's excited about it. Derek Ferrera posted on his video. You know how much Derek Ferrera loves the Demon Finn Balor character.
Yes, and all my buddies as well. Quite a few guys were kind of marking out, hearing that the Demon is coming. So yeah, they're very lucky, because some of my buddies actually got tickets to WrestleMania. They're gonna get to see it live Sunday night at MetLife. I'm jealous of them. But dude, they literally paid a lot of money, man. They put at least 300 down for this one. So not gonna waste that much money for it. I'm watching it with Florio, with Bullock at their house on Sunday night. It's happening. We're watching Mania together.
Yeah,
and yeah, so I can't wait to see it. It's gonna be awesome just to see the Demon arrive at MetLife. I just hope it's at the nighttime, under the lights. That's gonna be an insane moment at WrestleMania.
Yes, the sunset is supposed to be sometime after 7 o'clock, and that's when the main card of WrestleMania is going to be starting. So I think we'll be just fine. I mean, because that's how it was 6 years ago when we had WrestleMania 29 in that very same venue. So I don't think that's going to be an issue, MF. I really don't. So all right. So that's the quick thought on that. The Balor Demon character will be coming out, and they unfortunately they did not address it on the show tonight, which I think is a little. I think that obviously they were pressed for time not to mention it, but it was reported today by our own Didi Woodson before we go to the main event, and that is we have our final inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2019, and it's none other than Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Yes, Brutus the Barber Beefcake will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2019. The final class will be D-Generation X, the Honky Tonk Man, Tori Wilson, Harlem Heat, Warrior Award recipient Sue Aitchison, the Hart Foundation, and now Brutus the Barber. He goes in, a one-time Alabama Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champion with Greg the Hammer Valentine. Same for Brew City Wrestling. They were BCW Tag Champs. Same combination. Brudai was also a CWI Heavyweight Champion, Championship Wrestling International. Southeastern Championship Wrestling was a 3-time NWA Southeastern Tag Team Champion, twice with Ken Lucas and one with Robert Fuller. IWA Television Champion once. Inducted into the 2008 and 2010 Hall of Fame classes in the XWF and LPW. Maple State Wrestling and Slam All-Star Wrestling Tag Team Champions with Shane Williams. Believe it or not, he was actually a former New England Wrestling Alliance Heavyweight Champion. Yeah, that's news to me. Worldwide Wrestling Alliance Heavyweight Champion. In WWF, of course, a Tag Team Champion with Greg the Hammer Valentine as part of the Dream Team. Hall of Fame induction, obviously. PWI ranked him 75 of the 500 top singles guys in the PWI 500 in 95. PWI years in 03 was the number 173 of the 500 best singles wrestlers, and him and Valentine as the Dream Team in 2003. PWI ranked them as number 94 of the 100 best tag teams in the PWI year issue, and also went up against the Outlaw Ron Bass in a Lucha de Apuestas match, which is hair versus hair, on a Saturday night's main event that aired on January 7th of 1989 at the Sun Dome in Tampa. Brudai won that one and shaved the Outlaw bald, which led to the infamous Gorilla Monsoon comment at the Royal Rumble in 89. MF knows it very, very vividly. It's Baldy. You remember that. So, yeah, so we all remember that. So Brudai going into the Hall of Fame. Congratulations to him. Well deserved. And there's nothing really left for me to say before I give it to these guys. I just want to make one quick comment. Do not be surprised. I would not be surprised at all if Hulk Hogan is the one who inducts him. Because, I mean, I know they had a falling out a few years ago. I heard about a year or so ago, I heard they patched things up, praise the Lord. So don't be surprised if Hogan inducts Brudai into the Hall of Fame. Wouldn't be surprised at all. So MF for Didi, quick comment on Brother Brudai going into the Hall of Fame, rounding out the class of 2019.
Well, I'm just going to say that, it was well-deserved. I know a lot of people were very interested about what was going to happen, even though we heard some rumors that it was going to be Brutus the Barber Beefcake to go in. And now it is actually happening. So I really got nothing bad to say about it. You pretty much touched on everything that needed it to be touched. So I say congratulations to Brutus and welcome to the Hall of Fame, my friend. Well deserved. Dee Dee Woodson, if you want to put 2 cents in, go right ahead, my dear.
No, I guess she's all set. All right.
Pass.
No worries. No worries. So, but nonetheless, we here at the Wrestling Forum send our congratulations to Brutus the Barber Beefcake going into the Hall of Fame. Well deserved, like I said. And like I said, Hogan, I think, is going to be the one to induct him. So that's all I can say on that. All right. One last order of business here. Why this was the main event, I have no clue. Baron Corbin against Rey Mysterio. Baron Corbin wins the match 13 minutes and 45 seconds. And then Kurt Angle, after the match, came out and laid out Corbin with an ankle lock. So, yeah, I can see by the look on Dee Dee's face. I know she probably doesn't want to get into it. I don't blame you one bit. I'm guessing MF doesn't want to get into it either, unless he wants to drop a quick thought or anything. But, all right, I guess I'll take it for a spin here. Yeah. Hopefully, I mean, there is that selfish part of us that, you know, that hope that Angle broke the ankle of Corbin to create the need for a more fan-friendly opponent for Angle on Sunday. But that was your vintage snooze fest of a Corbin match, even if it was Rey Mysterio. As great as he is, not even he could carry Corbin to a passable match. 2 to 2.5 there as well. So, not going to waste any more time on that. So, let's put the bow on this final Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania. Dee Dee Woodson, I know you got to get going, so we're going to start with you.
Yeah, it was a newsworthy. We'll give it that much. Raw tonight, and what? Okay, I think that's her 2 cents. Okay. Yeah, it was a very newsworthy show tonight. There was quite a bit of, storyline building tonight, and hyping up WrestleMania. And then of course you also had a lot of crap. I mean, what else could you call Strowman beating up 2 guys that was just hanging out in the back? I mean, it's just wasn't worth the time, wasn't worth the effort. Some things just didn't need to be put out there. So I'm going to give it probably about 6.5 for the effort, and I'll leave it at that. So for the birthday cat and me, we're going to head out. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
All right, good night and happy birthday, pretty kitty.
3 years old.
Wow.
So
this is Callie, right? Callie. All right.
Yep. Miss Callie's 3 years old today.
Aw.
And good for 3.
Yeah. And very vocal at the moment.
I can tell.
Yes, indeed. Probably has a lot to say about the happenings of what we witnessed here tonight. So, all right, Dee Dee, we'll see you tomorrow night for our go home cerebral smack talk for WrestleMania. So, 6 to 6.5, I think that's about right. Even though we had a lot of cutouts, but one of the main reasons why we're going to give it this rating was because of that total chaos with Charlotte, Ronda, and Becky. That unforgettable post-match that we're all going to be talking about for years and years to come. It ranks right up there as one of the greatest segments in Monday Night Raw history. Stone Cold with the Zamboni comes to mind. The beer bath. Kurt Angle's milk bath on the Alliance. Daniel Bryan's grateful retirement speech. I mean, Edge's retirement speech. I mean, list goes on and on and on. But it was without question the most violent and brutal segment. That angle was the highlight of a long show. And the Raw Tag Team title match ended up being a surprisingly good match. I had really no hopes for it, but it ended up delivering more than I thought it would. We'll see what happens with that come Mania. The 8-woman I thought was a solid match, and those were the only really 2 solid matches. And then Batista, short and sweet, Kiss My Bleep Hunter, and the Angle stuff. I mean, that video package was great. That main event, I mean, final WrestleMania, and you're going to give us a snooze fest main event? Nah, that's not right. So, about 6 to 6.5, but that's mainly because of what happened with Ronda and Charlotte and Becky. That's what did it. And the announcement, unbelievable. So, the first of what was supposed to be 3 Raws, I was going to be really giddy about. Yes, it was newsworthy, but not as giddy as I was hoping to be. I was hoping to be, knocked on my you-know-what. But hey, at least Charlotte, Ronda, and Becky did that. They knocked me on my you-know-what. So that's all I can say with that craziness. The next 2 Raws, Raw the night after WrestleMania, that's going to be crazy. And then after that, we got the shakeups. So hopefully these next 2 weeks, Raw can right the ship. So that's all I can say there. 6 to 6.5. MF. Final Raw before WrestleMania, how did it rank on your end?
5.5 to 6. I think it was a good show. It was solid. It wasn't overly spectacular, unfortunately, but it was a good Monday Night Raw. I think there was some newsworthy stuff that we can definitely harp on. But like you said, Anthony, the next 2 weeks are going to be insane. Normally, night after WrestleMania is always insane, and then this time around, with the upcoming superstar shakeup, and especially it being in Montreal of all places, yeah, I mean this is gonna be it's gonna be insane. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be crazy. And like you said, I think this time around Raw might get better. Will get a lot more better this time around because of a lot of people thought that Raw got shafted in the last Superstar shakeup, and I think WWE is going to feel like they need to correct the ship a little bit. So I expect a lot of good SmackDown talent to come over to Raw this time around. But with the rumors about maybe SmackDown possibly going 3 hours now, when they move to Fox, where they do the first 2 hours on the Fox network and then the 3rd hour on FS1, I don't know. And plus with Fox wanting to keep some of the big talent or get some huge names over to Fox, I mean, there's gonna be a balancing act. I hope they don't really raid the SmackDown cabinets too hard on us. We'll wait and see what happens, but I do know that Fox is looking for some huge names to come over to the Blue brand. So, we're just gonna have to wait and see. But 5.5 to 6 for me. Floyo, hit us with your Tony's take.
Well, before I do that, let's run down the card for the Raw side when it comes to WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship. I don't know. I mean, should we consider this technically Raw with Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch, or would we consider this in a promotional?
Well, going into it was definitely Raw, but now that the SmackDown belt is on the line, I say it's in a promotional now.
Yeah, so we'll leave it at that. Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese, Cruiserweight Championship. That's exclusive. 205 Live. That's exclusive to me. Triple H and Batista, no holds barred. If Triple H loses, his in-ring career is over. Kurt Angle, Baron Corbin in Kurt Angle's farewell match. We got Bobby Lashley and Demon Finn Balor for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Roman Reigns against Drew McIntyre. And those are pretty much the only Raw exclusive matches because, the women's tag team, that's technically interpromotional because you've got SmackDown and Raw talent in that. Then you got the SmackDown matches, and then you got the interpromotional Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. That's interpromotional. So Those are all the Raw matches, and MF will run down the SmackDown exclusive matches tomorrow night as part of the Cerebral Smack Talks. So you don't want to miss that, friends. So with all that, let's get into my Tony's Take now. 205 Live kicks it off as always. And boy, did we have a fun show here. Started it off with a 6-man tag team matchup. The Lucha House Party, Gran Metalik, Kalisto, and Lince Dorado against Drew Gulak, Jack Gallagher, and Humberto Carrillo. Lucha House Party win it 13 minutes 10 seconds, 3-star match. Good opener, with the story being that Gulak and Gallagher want to mentor Carrillo, but constantly admonish him for his flashy style. And then we had Cedric Alexander against Arya Daivari. Arya Daivari picks up the win, 12 minutes 45 seconds, another 3-star bout. Good match with Daivari picking up a huge win and also setting up a Cedric Alexander Oney Lorcan feud. That could be hella fun, so we'll find out. 7 out of 10. Good show, 2 good matches, building to Murphy and Nice for Mania, and setting up a match for next week, as well as an Alexander Lorcan feud. The match in question for next week would be Mike Kanellis against Akira Tozawa. Should be a good one there. So it's a 7 out of 10 for 205 Live. By the way, there will not be a Tony's Take next week because we got a very special Ridiculously Raw coming at you next week. So I'll be happy to elaborate a great deal more in just a moment. But as I set up the future content. But let's get into the other business at hand. Impact Wrestling. Crazy show, let me tell you that right now. Yeah, I guess MF agrees. It was supposed to be I guess there was supposed to be an unsanctioned fight with LAX and Lucha Brothers, but nothing happened here. I'm expecting a Full Metal Mayhem match at the Rebellion pay-per-view at the end of the month. Scarlett Bordeaux in her in-ring debut against the Disco Inferno. Scarlett Bordeaux, 6.5 minutes, wins the match. 1 star. That was not good, but at least the right person won. Thank goodness. What a segment here. Tessa Blanchard and Gail Kim. Oh my goodness. This was one of the better verbal segments I've seen in quite a while. Very good. Tessa coming off as the spoiled brat in the best way possible and setting up the big match. And yes, it is official at the Rebellion pay-per-view. A dream knockouts match here, and one that I know MF is going to have a major vested interest in. Tessa Blanchard, Gail Kim. Oh my goodness, what a matchup that is going to be. Whew. Speaking of knockouts championship on the line. Taya Valkyrie against Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace wins the match, but won it by a count out, 12 minutes and 45 seconds. 2 3/4 star match. It was getting better the longer it went on. It was a bit rough early, flat finish. But the good news is Jordynne Grace didn't lose. Post-match came off well, though, so maybe Jordynne Grace gets another shot down the road. Brian Cage against Killer Kross. Killer Kross wins the match, 15.5 minutes. 3-star match. This was a good Be a Man fight with a disputed finish and good post-match angle. Okay, what happens here? Rosemary goes to the Undead Realm. They meet up with the Sinister Minister, Jim Mitchell, and the Menagerie of Freaks. And Allie gets killed off. Hell of a write-off, as they actually killed off the character Lucha Underground style. Some either loved it or hated it. So, unreal.
I loved it. I thought this was, without a doubt, one of the best segments that Impact Wrestling has ever done. I actually enjoyed it.
You watch it on Twitch, right?
I watched it on Twitch. And actually, I actually do have the Pursuit channel, Florio. So I actually do have it. So, yeah, for some odd reason, the other day I started snooping around through my TV guide, and we actually have it. So no, we actually do have Pursuit. So, but I do it on Twitch because I I rather do it on Twitch more because I do have Impact Wrestling on my Twitch channel as one of my Twitch channels. So I do have it. And no, I enjoyed it. I thought this was beautifully done. I thought it was well executed. And more importantly, I think it was one of the best segments since the days of the Matt Hardy and the Great War, or the
Broken Hardys.
the Broken Hardy compound and all that stuff. I thought this was absolutely beautifully done. It was the right way to kill off Allie. Allie's on her way to All Elite Wrestling. Yep. I think they could not have done it any more better. I thought they did this brilliantly. Well done.
And MF, I want to get a quick thought from you about the Tessa and Gail segment. How about that?
I thought it was beautifully done too. I thought this was really good. I love Tessa Blanchard as a heel. She is so good at it. The spoiled brat gimmick, like you said, Florio, is absolutely perfect. But she's been getting on the bad side of Gail Kim. And the thing is, she's made it very clear. She doesn't want to do this. She doesn't want to get back in the ring and everything else. But Tessa's been pushing it and pushing it and pushing it and pushing it to the point that, all right, you got the legend. You brought the Hall of Famer out. Now what do? Game on. And I can't wait for that fight to go down.
Sunday night, April 28th, Rebellion from Toronto. So, anywho, this was a 7 out of 10. Outside of the Scarlet and Disco disaster, this last week's Impact Wrestling was a good show. They focused on locking in pay-per-view bouts and that epic write-off of Allie. So that's really all there is to say on that. So so that will put the bow on this first order of business when it comes to our WrestleMania week coverage. Oh, actually, Michael Bullock is here, so we have to get him.
I was just gonna say. I mean, first off, fellas, I gotta say it. Happy WrestleMania week, to say the very least.
Yeah. I was so focused on my notes that I didn't see you come in there, Bullock. So, but anyways, I'm glad you made it. You're gonna have to go rapid fire here. So, we're only going to talk about the relevant stuff.
Yeah, leave the irrelevant stuff out.
Yeah. Stephanie McMahon making the announcement. Ronda, Charlotte, and Becky at WrestleMania. Winner take all. Both titles are on the line. We're going to unify those suckers. We're going to have an undisputed women's champion. Biggest main event in WrestleMania history, wouldn't you say?
Yes, and that's what we all wanted. I mean, and even you said, Florio, if you want to make this one of the greatest main events of WrestleMania history, put both belts on the line and unify them. And they did it, and all I can say is I certainly cannot wait. I cannot wait even more, especially after what went down tonight involving those three.
We'll get into that in a minute. Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, in-ring segment. Rollins gets the best of Lesnar. I'm worried now. I got a bad feeling our national nightmare is going to continue a little longer.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, Florio. I mean, when I heard that went down, I was like, oh, shoot. This is not going to be good because, we always like to say, Florio, booking 101. And I mean, this is one time, Florio. I hope that we're wrong on this one because we want so badly to have a full-time Universal Champion instead of with that part-time jack-off Brock Lesnar. Yeah, I did say that.
Yep.
And if he's got a problem with that, then you know what? Screw him. Because we want a full-time Universal Champion and not someone who's only going to wrestle a few times with that belt.
Yeah, not someone who's going to defend it every 6 months like clockwork. Yeah, right.
Yeah, get the you-know-what out with that nonsense.
And I'm sure you heard the dirt sheet, Bullock, that Brock Lesnar will be appearing on the Saudi Arabia show on May the 3rd, and that definitely leads us to that serious doubt now. So,
yeah, if that's the case, then
but the
I
thing
think
is,
our worst nightmare may come true. But I hope we're wrong.
Real quick, why can't they just have Rollins win the title and then do the rematch in Saudi Arabia? Why can't they just do it like that?
Exactly.
But we'll find out, though. We'll find out. 8-woman tag team match. Sasha Banks, Bayley, Beth Phoenix, and Natalya. They knock off Nia Jax, Tamina, and the Iconics. 11 minutes and 40 seconds.
I'll give it about 3 stars. I thought the match was good, and I'll tell you what, Florio, I don't think Beth Phoenix has lost a step. I mean, how long has it been since she's been in a ring?
About 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, and I don't think she's lost a step. I mean, I think she's still proven why she's the Glamazon.
And Hall of Fame.
Yeah. And and if any of those teams take Beth Phoenix and Natalya lightly at WrestleMania, I think we may be looking at new women's tag team champions.
Certainly. All right.
But I'll give you my full prediction come Thursday night.
Yes. The Batista segment, is short and sweet. We won't get into that. Other nonsense here. Revival successfully defending the Raw Tag Team Championships against Ricochet and Aleister Black via a countout in 11 minutes and 40 seconds. Still a good match, though.
Yeah, it was still a good match. I'm going to give it about 2.5 to 3 because of the countout finish. But either way, I mean, I thought it was still a good match. And yeah, I mean, you knew they were going to keep the titles around the Revival because let's not forget, guys, Ricochet and Aleister Black, they have a tag team title match coming up this Friday at Takeover New York when they battle the War Raiders. So
by virtue of them winning the Dusty Rhodes Classic, yep.
Yeah, so yeah, it wouldn't make sense to have them go in as Raw Tag Team Champions and then possibly win the NXT Tag Team titles. That would make no sense whatsoever.
I definitely like their chances in the NXT match.
Oh, I agree, but we'll give it to them when we preview both shows Thursday.
Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair. They took care of their business against the Riot Squad. They won that in 7 minutes and 55 seconds. But the post-match bullet, wildest and craziest, unpredictable segment of all time.
Oh, my goodness. I mean...
Do you imagine if we had a Raw chat and we saw this?
Oh, my goodness. I'd probably bring out my my inner JR in me. I'm like, will somebody calm these 3 women down? It's chaos. I mean... Oh my goodness! It got so crazy. They had to not only get the police, but they actually arrested them. And did you see what Ronda Rousey tried to do?
Yeah, I mean,
She tried to drive off in one of the police cars.
Oh,
I'm like, this woman is out of control.
Was it just me, or did this feel like something out of the Attitude Era with this?
I think it had the feeling of the Attitude Era. I mean, you talk about someone with no respect whatsoever, and Ronda Rousey just wants to cause more trouble. And you know what? It's not too often I say this. I'm glad Charlotte kicked Ronda Rousey in the head. Because in the immoral words of Ahmed Johnson, Ronda Rousey, you're going down.
That's awesome.
But man, and you know what? It almost reminds me of an episode of Live PD on A&E.
Obviously, you read Derek Ferrera's Facebook post.
Yes, I did.
Yep.
But just seeing it even before that, it automatically reminded me of it since the show features the Warwick Police Department, which obviously is what my cousin works at.
Okay.
But man, oh man, I mean, if you thought this main event was already hyped up already, man, oh man, it just got more hyped after what we saw here.
Wait till Thursday night. I'm going to hype that sucker even more. So, spoiler.
Hey, they call you the hype man.
Well, MF's more the hype man, but
all right.
I'm gonna I'm going to take a page out of that on Thursday night when we hype that match. You better believe it. You wanted it. This next thing you wanted, and you got it. We're getting the Demon Finn Balor when he squares off against Bobby Lashley for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. How about that?
Oh my goodness. I mean, the Demon is coming to WrestleMania. I mean, we didn't get it last year when he was at WrestleMania, but we're getting it this year. And my message to Bobby Lashley, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it, and you got it. And if you take this Demon King lightly, Finn Balor's walking out the new Intercontinental Champion. No doubt, because we've seen the lengths the Demon King will go to. Ask Seth Rollins, ask Baron Corbin, ask all those superstars, whether it's from the main roster or NXT, that have faced the Demon. And to that little idiot, if you get in the way of the Demon, let's just say there's going to be a special place in hell for you.
Fair enough. Before we get to the main event, do you have a quick thought about Brutus the Barber Beefcake rounding out the Hall of Fame class?
I think this is a great. This is a good choice. I mean, we had the feeling that Brutus the Barber Beefcake was gonna get in, and yeah, I mean, we always loved how he comes out with those shears, and yeah, so my gut feeling's telling me the immortal Hulk Hogan's going to induct Brutus the Barber Beefcake. So congratulations, Brutai.
Yes.
And yep, that rounds out the Hall of Fame. So
yep.
Now let's get to the main event.
We really didn't talk about the main event unless you want to.
All right.
Baron Corbin defeating Rey Mysterio, 13 minutes and 45 seconds. But then Kurt Angle came out afterwards and put the ankle lock on Baron Corbin. So at least there was that. So your overall thoughts on this final Raw before WrestleMania?
Yeah, what did you guys give it?
Didi and I gave it a 6 to 6.5. MF gave it 5.5 to 6.
I'll give it a 6. I mean, I thought it was good, not great. I mean, to me, it was just a smidgen enough to be a passable show. I mean, it's not the greatest, but just enough to make it a passable show. So, yeah, so one order of business down, one more to go.
Well, two more to go.
More to go, I should say.
Because, right on cue. Good old MF, Michael Fletcher, set the table, the final Cerebral Smack Talk, the final SmackDown Live before WrestleMania. Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan are going to sign the contract. We're going to have a contract signing. Hey, Bullock, what's going to happen in the Immortal Wars of JBL?
It ain't going to end well, but let's not forget the last time we thought we were going to have a contract signing with the two of them.
Oh, man. Vince McMahon pulls the rug out on Kofi Kingston and denies him the opportunity, but
that was Fastlane.
That was Fastlane, but this is WrestleMania, and Vince already made it very clear Kofi gets the shot. So no, this should happen. But not only that, but
AJ Styles and Randy Orton, they're going to be on the Kevin Owens show.
Yep, they're going to do that as well. And then on top of that, we were going to get Andrade versus Rey Mysterio one-on-one, but I don't know, guys. I don't think that fight's happening, especially after what happened with Mysterio here tonight. Maybe they pulled the rug out and give us another match. We'll have to wait and see. But is
Rey Mysterio going to be? Is he going to be okay enough to fight against Andrade?
That's the big question. I don't know.
And Joe,
we're gonna
don't forget Joe.
And with Joe and everything else. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. There's a lot that needs to be covered, and we got a lot to talk about. On top of that, SmackDown Live. Then on top of that, I'm going to do something a little bit departure. For the first time in a long time, on Mikey's Mindset's going to go, because as much as we love WrestleMania, and there is a big show, And no doubt about it, we're going to talk about NXT. We're talking about WrestleMania. But there's another show that a lot of people are talking about
Madison Square Garden show.
From Madison Square Garden, New York. Derek is talking about it. I'm going to have my hands on it as well. The G1 Supercard, Ring of Honor, and New Japan Pro Wrestling invading the world's most famous arena.
Oh.
A double main event that's going down. The Ring of Honor world title in a ladder match, a 3-way ladder match. Matt Taven, the Villain, Marty Scurll, and the reigning champion, Jay Lethal, and the main event for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship of the World, Jay White, the Switchblade, goes up against the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. We will set the entire card tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, after SmackDown Live goes off the air. It will be the Cerebral Smack Talk live on BravesFan95 at YouTube.com. Have a good night, everybody. See you guys tomorrow. Anthony, take it home.
Real quick, what's a good time for Thursday, guys?
10:30.
Bullock?
I'm down with 10:30 as well.
All right. We'll do it then. So, yeah. So hopefully we don't take too long with that because, you know why. So, all right. So that's tomorrow night with MF over on BravesFan95, immediately following SmackDown Live, the Cerebral Smack Talk. And you already heard that docket. And then Thursday night at 10:30, we will have one of our biggest shows of the year. We will preview NXT TakeOver New York and WrestleMania 35. Please let's not take too long with it, guys. So that's all I can say on that. So that's it. And then of course, a very special Ridiculously Raw and Cerebral Smack Talk next week. Sunday night, we will not have our traditional WrestleMania recap show due to the lateness of the WrestleMania show. What we are going to do, we're going to recap the Raw side of the card on Monday on Ridiculously Raw next week. No Tony's Take. And then next Tuesday on Cerebral Smack Talk, we'll review the SmackDown side and no Mikey's Mindset either. So we'll have to definitely figure out how we'll do the interpromotional matches. We'll have to figure that out. So so that's it. So until yes, MF?
I'll talk to you privately.
All right, fair enough. All right, so until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk with MF over on BravesFan95, with your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Floyo here, for good old MF Michael Fletcher, for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit the Twisted Angel Didi Woodson and Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up with your force style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Tuesday. And until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk with MF on BravesFan95. You've been listening to Ridiculously Raw as we kick off WrestleMania week on our YouTube family and networks. And as we always say, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Floyo, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.